and welcome to another special episode of Autocar Professional Dialogue. The electric mobility trend is on the rise. Also is the rise in the number of Indian states which are devising and rolling out policies to facilitate mass-scale adoption of electric vehicles, as well as set up the appropriate infrastructure, and thereby also emerge as major hubs for electric vehicle and infrastructure production. Maharashtra, also a leading auto industry hub of the country, has rolled out its EV policy. To tell us more about the policy and what are the objectives of the government and various other initiatives aimed for the automotive industry, we have with us Subhash Desai ji, Minister of Industries in the Maharashtra Government. Desai ji, thank you very much for joining us on this show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my views.
Thank you, sir. So to begin with, a few years ago, there was a policy of sorts by the Maharashtra government about 2-3 years ago. So what were the key learnings, and with the new policy which you have rolled out, what are the top three, if I may ask, short-term and mid to long-term goals for the government?
Yes, you rightly said, Government of Maharashtra had introduced electric vehicle policy in year 2018. But that was introduced by Industry Department alone. And the focus was on manufacturing of electric vehicles. And of course, the demand side was also taken into consideration, demand and supply. But over a period, we realized that there are more and more issues connected with this sector. And therefore, now on platform, we have invited two more departments of the government. One is Transport Department and second is Environment Department. Along with Industry Department, Environment and Transport, these are two major sectors of government which can jointly promote this policy. And if we work jointly, we are hopeful. Why? We are sure that this policy will produce better results, stronger results. And therefore, our focus is on demand side, supply side, and infrastructure, charging infrastructure. Unless we take care of these three sides equally well, the policy could not bring stronger results. And therefore, along with the electric vehicle promotion, we are strengthening the vehicle infrastructure, charging infrastructure in the state. And we have developed this revised electric vehicle policy considering these factors. Now, sustainable and clean mobility solutions in Maharashtra are in our sight. And therefore, Maharashtra as a leading state in terms of adoption of electric vehicles in this country, we are sure we will transform the state into the leading manufacturing and investment hub for the EV ecosystem. Now, as you rightly said, Maharashtra is a known auto hub in the country. Now we want to make it electric vehicle hub of the country. And therefore, our focus is that we wish to contribute 10% new vehicle registration. That is, in speaking number-wise, we are targeting 3 lakh vehicles by year 2025 to be registered under this policy, electric vehicles.
Okay. You mean cumulatively between now and 2025 or on a yearly basis?
No, year on year, right from now, because this policy has already come into force. Till the year 2025, we are hopeful of registering more than 3 lakh electric vehicles per year. Per year, it is a yearly target. And we have to reach that number before 2025. So it will be a good addition to the vehicle transportation. Now we are focusing 6 urban areas, and these are mega cities of the state: Mumbai, Pune, then Aurangabad, Nashik, Amravati, Nagpur. Now we are also focusing for creating charging infrastructure. We are looking at 2,500 new charging stations, along with 7 major urban agglomerates. Okay, and for this we have selected 4 major highways of the state. 4 major highways in the state: Mumbai Pune, Mumbai Nashik, Mumbai Nagpur, and Pune Nashik. These 4 major highways, and of course, along the sides of these highways, we wish to create 2,500 charging stations. I am happy to note here and inform you that day before I visited a charging station in Navi Mumbai. It was inaugurated at my hands. That is the Magenta. Magenta company has set up that charging station, and they claim that that is the largest charging station in the country. First largest charging station. Okay, so the movement has already started, and it will take momentum soon. So from April 2022, all new government vehicles will be electric vehicles.
All right.
That is another feature of this policy.
So
by April 2022.
22.
So the target date is so near. We want to have every new government vehicle to be electric. No government vehicle would be other than electric after April 2022.
So what could be the demand in terms of absolute numbers? What is the demand you have in terms of acquiring new vehicles for various government departments on an annual basis? Maybe an approximate figure if you can share.
Government vehicles, yes, of course. There are incentives, and the number of these vehicles is also worked out. I will, in a moment, I will inform you during the course of this interview.
Sure.
But I want to share with you the charging infra incentives, to incentivize the charging infrastructure. How much money we have earmarked for 4 years from now? 930 crore rupees government has earmarked funds required for, this is budgetary provision.
Yeah.
Demand side and charging infra.
Okay.
Which is policy implementation can be funded.
You have announced that, and you will fund it through your green tax and the fuel cess, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes. There are ways and ways. We have to fund this provision. So implementation of this policy can be funded through green tax levied on re-registration of old vehicles. Okay, we have to discourage the use of fuel-based vehicles. Okay, so this tax would be imposed on those re-registration of old vehicles, fuel cess, etc. Okay.
Is there any deliberation or discussion to hike the tax, state level tax, maybe on registration of new vehicles also, just to, as you said, to incentivize more EVs?
No, for new vehicle purchase, even fuel-based tax would not be charged, because then people will call it draconian tax. We don't want to fall into that kind of situation. Okay,
and The 900
Re-registration of
crores.
old vehicles would
Right.
certainly call for this tax.
Indeed, indeed. So, how much would be the additional tax that you plan to impose for the re-registration of old vehicles? Have
We
you?
have already directed the transport department to work out the modality, a percentage of tax, the categories of vehicles, and all those details. They are working on it. So we will be coming out very soon the detailed policy on this taxation. So allow me some time for that.
The Maharashtra state EV policy has been given good review by many industry players, and it's a very comprehensive policy. So it appears that with the kind of incentives that you have announced, it's a very front-loading approach, sir. Very for the next 2 to 3 years till 2025, you're really earmarking a lot of funds. So while devising this policy, did you benchmark any other EV policy, maybe anywhere in the world where it has really worked and given the intended results, or maybe any other EV policy in India also? Did you benchmark your policy against any other policy?
It's my experience, Sumandra, that government of Maharashtra is always leading from front. In any sector, we introduce a policy, we work hard, we make research, and with great efforts, the policies are released. Whenever our new policy is released, it is my experience, other states follow. Other states follow. I had an opportunity to meet with CM of a leading state, which was making great efforts in industrial development. So I casually asked him when we met at an occasion that how you attract industries into your states. What are those ideas and what are those measures that you make your state attractive for the industries and the investors run to your state? He stared at me for a few moments and then said, Mr. Desai, shall I tell you the truth? Only, yes, I would like to understand the truth. He said, whenever there are new policies announced by government of Maharashtra, I send my officials to Mumbai to study those policies. They come back and then we reintroduce those policies here and try to make our state more attractive. These are the words of a leading state chief minister. So we are happy. Right. If we are followed, we are happy because together we have to make this country stronger.
Indeed.
Okay. And I always appreciate a healthy competition between the states.
Indeed.
But rest assured, this EV policy will set a benchmark and it will be copied, will be happy to be copied by other states. And country would be cleaner, greener, and stronger.
That's good to know. Some other states are getting inspired by Maharashtra's industrial policies. Well, I doubt you will name that state, but I will also not ask you. But in terms of growing competition, Maharashtra has been facing competition in terms of attracting investment, especially and specific. Let's talk about the automotive industry. There are other states which are really emerging as investment destination for the automotive industry. We are witnessing a similar competition and a healthy competition, as you say, for building EV hubs in the respective states. So we have already seen Delhi government, Telangana, even Gujarat recently. Talking about Gujarat, the neighboring state, if you look at the FDI figures of FY21, it was very good inflow of FDIs into the country. Gujarat has taken the top slot, followed by Maharashtra. In the EV space, how do you ensure that Maharashtra will be at the forefront?
First and foremost, Maharashtra has already a developed ecosystem, complete ecosystem for automobile manufacturing and automobile uh, incentivizing. So if you look at the leading brands of the world, all those global brands are present in Maharashtra. Name anything, right from Mercedes, Volkswagen, and all those brands are here. Apart from the ecosystem, along with the infrastructure, providing all the incentives, that is okay, that is one side. But what is special about Maharashtra is we have trained and skilled manpower readily available in the state. You know, all these Maharashtra universities, from these universities, every year, more than 1 million graduates pass out, holding degrees in different streams. And they are readily available. In addition, our skill development department, Skill Development Corporation of Maharashtra, is very busy since last 4 years, converting the uh, conventional courses into industry-specific courses.
And
And
thereby
therefore,
have industry-ready graduates.
yes, industry-ready candidates are available.
But for the EV industry, there's a different skill sets that will be required. So, as part of the policy, maybe are you also engaging the concerned department to ensure that there is skilling being done uh, specifically for the EV sector also? Is there any such?
Yes, yes, we have the skill development universities and government run technical institutions. Everywhere we have asked them to introduce the courses dedicated to electric vehicle management and development. So now the syllabus curriculum is available, and based on this curriculum, all these institutions are busy developing their special packages for the technical education,
I
which
see.
would be very, very helpful for the electric vehicle. See, we have many challenges, particularly in every city. The traffic is a big issue. So, of course, we have to address these issues. And we are constantly in touch with the associations, industry associations. We are exchanging our views and with the sharing the ideas. We are sure we'll get over these issues. Some issues could be tackled immediately, instantly, in the shortest time possible. But some issues may take a little more time
Right.
to ease. And the traffic is one of these issues that we are facing this challenge.
Right. Uh, Also, is there any kind of incentive that you'd work out for setting up gigafactories in the state? Because battery production, which is the single most expensive component of an electric vehicle, that's very critical for it to be localized. While some other state in India may also have a base for Maharashtra, if it really wants to be a leading hub in the country, it's very critical to have such the production. So, are you planning any special incentives for that?
Battery manufacturing is a very, very critical aspect of this sector. And therefore, we cannot ignore this sector. We are already, my department, industry department, is already engaged with certain industrial groups. Please permit me not quoting the names, but we are very actively interacting with the industrial houses to promote the manufacturing of EV batteries. And soon we will find that many investors take interest in setting up these battery manufacturing units here in the state. So local as well as global. So we are also trying to invite foreign investment into this. Along with that, the local talent and local entrepreneurship is also being encouraged.
Right. Okay, announcing a very drafting and announcing a very comprehensive, very attractive policy is one thing. Ensuring that every aspect of it it gets executed at the ground level is another thing. How are you, on what steps, what other processes have you planned to ensure that everything that you have listed down in your policy, announced, will be executed, if not exactly according to the timeline, but definitely will get executed, even if there is a little bit of a delay here and there?
Keeping this in mind, we have already taken 3 departments on this platform: Transport Department, Environment Department, and Industry Department. These 3 departments, the length and breadth of the state, we are sure that we will be able to implement this policy seamlessly. Okay, and whatever missing links we will bridge. We have no doubt that implementing the policy and getting stronger results, we have taken care of every aspect of this sector, and therefore we're not worried that everyone in the department, everyone working on the roads, everyone working in the market, every person connected directly or indirectly to this sector would be excited and would contribute to his best possible level.
And ever since you announced the EV policy, has there been any fresh expression of interest for investment in this area, in the state, or is it maybe too early still?
I know where the question is heading to. Okay, anyway, we are, as you know, along with other states, all the states are very, very actively engaged in bringing or inviting global giants into their respective states. Okay, Maharashtra is equally busy and eager to invite, including Tesla.
Right.
Okay, we have been continuously in touch with them, and we are trying to understand their concerns and their requirements. Likewise, there are other brands and corporations which may take interest into investing in Maharashtra. So on this front, we are very active.
Right. Yes, that was when I asked that question, I was also referring to Tesla, and good to know that discussions are on. On a larger scale, sir, since you're the Industries Minister of the state, last time when we were having the discussion, you had that time we were discussing about the Magnetic Maharashtra initiative and the various aspects of it. So since then, how have things kind of progressed as per your plan, or did you have to make any inputs based on your experience, feedback, or are you taking any of the projects or initiatives under Magnetic Maharashtra?
Sumantra, let me assure you, the Maharashtra, nobody can stop Maharashtra, and Maharashtra is stopless. So even during the pandemic challenging time, we have been busy in making MOUs with the investors. As many as 60 investors have signed MOUs with Government of Maharashtra. Right from April 2020 till now, as many as 60 investors. Few of them are from US, UK, Singapore, Japan, Korea, Germany, and so on. Okay, and many domestic companies have also made agreements with us In fact, all these MOUs are converting into real industry. They will not remain on paper alone. For this purpose, they have allotted them lands. And 80% of these investors have acquired land from us. So when an investor takes land, he is serious about his investment. And therefore, I am categorically mentioning that every MOU is being converted into real-time industry. So with this, more than 2 lakh crore rupees investment has been assured in this state. With
that
this,
is starting April 2020.
Yes, a little more than a year's time, and more than 3 lakh job opportunities would be created through these efforts. So I think Maharashtra is not ready to stop, is ready to continue with its
in line with the magnetic Maharashtra the name
yes, it is magnetic.
Indeed,
It is magnetic. So strong magnet keeps attracting.
Would you be able to share how much of those investments, the MOU, the earmarked investments could be from the automotive industry players, or would you have that?
In this 60, during this 60 MOUs, I don't find any automobile working. Okay. But there are few proposals about the acquisitions. Okay, you know, General Motors, they are trying to find a partner to hand over their activity near Pune.
In Talegaon.
Yes. Then there's Photon company. They have also found investor for their project. Okay. So these are two issues now we have taken forward during this period. Other than that, in automobile industry, to be very frank, we don't have any other proposal.
And that acquisition of the General Motors plant by Great Wall Motors, because of the geopolitical issues, that has been a roadblock. Any development on that front?
No, we are waiting for Government of India's clearance on that front.
Okay.
Or General Motors may find some other taker.
Right, great. Great, sir. And before we end this an interview with you, just want to ask you: do you drive an EV, or are you planning to start driving an EV soon?
Yes. I don't have EV now, but I plan to have one in near future.
Great. On that note, Subhash Desai ji, thank you very much for this lovely conversation. Always a pleasure having a good discussion with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.